XRP family, I hope you guys are doing well. Let's dig in, guys. We have some interesting stuff. Buckle up, guys. Buckle up. We are almost there. So many signs, so many signs. And it's almost February now. So we can see a lot of things. March is really the breakdown, guys. Swift officially announced on the Twitter on their Twitter that ISO 222 is going live in March. They literally announced that. So if you don't believe me, guys, you can go look on Swift Twitter. There's no need for me to bring it up now. We have some other things to talk about here. What is the digital pound really useful for? Ripple VP of Central Bank Engagements, James Wallace, will cover some of the use cases for CBDCs and a digital pound, 4 p.m. UK today. So this is very interesting, guys. Here they talk about what the digital pound is really going to do, and Ripple is involved. So when Ripple is so closely involved with the digital pound, what do you think that they are doing, guys? Everything is starting in London. Remember, we were always being told that, and we didn't know what it meant. Now we for sure know what it means, because it's actually, the Bank of England is actually directly saying that they are working with Ripple. They are not hiding it. It's also on their website. You can see that Ripple is a partner, right? And there's not many central banks doing that. They're not really giving the name of the fintech or the technology behind, right? It's very scarce that you see central banks do that. So there are a couple of ones, but for sure not all of them are doing this. So it means a lot, guys. It means a lot that they're so open about this. So this is some interesting stuff, guys. People are using ChatGPT. If you do not know what this is, then you are living in a cave, guys. But this is a AI that actually responds to you in a very smart way. So when you ask something, and you can tweak it and make it how you want, but you can be very creative with it. So you can also just ask a simple question like, how could XRP be used as a stablecoin? And then look what it responds. It's insane, guys. Let's take a look. XRP, the digital asset associated with the Ripple network, has been proposed as a potential stablecoin due to its potential to facilitate fast and expensive cross-border transactions. A stablecoin is a type of cryptocurrency that is pegged to the value of fiat currency or other assets such as gold to reduce price volatility. Very interesting, guys, that this AI is actually doing this. And I don't know how it actually, where it takes its information from. I think it's just collecting all the data that it has from the internet. But I think it has to be backed by some kind of truth, right? Because it cannot just spew out things that people are saying. So here you can see, guys, that there's clear knowledge in this AI, and it's very extraordinary. We will also see Jeremy Hogan using it and asking something about XRP. So here we have a very interesting video, guys. Fan Philip Sander, we need regs for 98% of the population to bring them in. Decentral World innovates Central World on very low frequent, takes out innovation like Bitcoin ETH, then regulates it, comes into compliance, then scales to millions of users. Let's take a look.
Those people like us who are dealing with this topic and nothing else day by day. And it's only for those people who are understanding part of the technological stuff or want to deal with this stuff, right? And this is, of course, opposed to the other 98% of the population, which might at some point of time also be interested in Bitcoin, but they don't want to deal with the technicalities and so on and so forth. So the regulation is primarily addressing these 98% because they also need secure solutions on how to invest. That's a crypto exchange, that's a bank, and so on and so forth. So in my mind, the decentral world and the centralized world, they are going hand in hand, but the decentral world is only for a geeky section of the society. That's us knowing how to deal with the technology and wanting to know this. And the majority by large of the society cannot deal with the technology this way, but they also do not want to do it, but they are still interested, for example, in investing. So providing legally secure systems and solutions such as Börse Stuttgart, Coinbase, and many others who have a license in Germany, they are required because only then the majority can potentially also invest in a secure way. And therefore we need regulation with absence of regulation, what happens? FTX. And therefore we have to have regulation, otherwise it doesn't work. And now, how is this interlinked?
So notice, guys, how everyone, when they talk about regulation, brings out FTX. Now, I am telling you guys that they did this on purpose. FTX is planned. Why? Because they need regulation. So what do? They set an event in place that will actually show people, because that's what they do, right? They show you that it's necessary, and then you think for yourself and you think, hey, actually we need regulation because of what happened with FTX. But that is exactly what they're doing. These people are playing chess. They are doing this, guys. So FTX was all planned from the beginning. That's why all the connections happen from, like, Sam Bankman-Fried is connected to people in Congress, people in the SEC. They all knew, guys. They all knew, okay? If you do not believe this, then think about this. FTX collapses. It was doing billions of dollars. Never, ever did the SEC bother to ask anything while they actually met with SBF. So just think about all these things, right? The reason that this was all planned is because now they have an excuse to regulate stuff. And now Ripple is in a lawsuit. Ripple is the only one in a lawsuit right now which can really show regulation in a way that we will move forward with a framework. And that is exactly what they're doing with Ripple right now. Once Ripple is finished, the lawsuit, and Ripple wins, we actually have a very strong framework for crypto to actually continue. Because then they will say, okay, listen, if you want to have a cryptocurrency, if you want to sell a cryptocurrency, it needs to be like Ripple. There needs to be a company. It needs to be decentralized in some way or another. Like the network needs to be decentralized. XRP Ledger is decentralized, guys, 100%. If you do not believe this, then please do your own research, because you do not understand what is going on, right? But there is a company behind it that is actually providing utility for the coin. Now, this is what's required for a digital asset. If they have this framework, we will move forward and 99% of crypto will disappear. And you have all heard of this story that 99% of crypto will disappear. So it's not a coincidence that all these things make sense, guys. Got 3 numbers for you. Very interesting video here from Richard Walker Bain and company. Let's take a look.
Demanding a technology solution. And there's a long tail to those legacy assets to be digitally twinned. Let's talk about the long tail. I've got 3 numbers for you: 50, 160, 330. And those numbers are in trillions. There's 50 trillion in private equity. That's, private company value. There's 160 trillion in public private debt. And there's 330 trillion in global private real estate. That's 540 trillion. That's 540 trillion in assets that largely are not in the financial system. Demanding a...
Crazy, right? 540 trillion, guys. That's a large sum of amount. Now, don't talk about market cap with XRP. Don't believe that this is related in any way to market cap, guys, because it's not, right? This is all bigger than that you think. Change the world overnight. Cambrian Explosion. Let's take a look, guys. Very interesting talk here.
There have been more people in the world with cell phones than plumbing.
Yeah.
And the World Bank has a gap that every adult in the world should have a so-called bank account in their phone by 2020. Don't think we're going to hit 2020, but we're going to hit it in the 2020s. So the technology is converging. Everybody's got the device in their hand if we can just figure out how to make the system connect them.
Yeah, we have so many of the component parts that are in place, but the cell phone represents kind of 2 of the components, right? It's, gives you a lot of the application layer on the top, right? Just like, Facebook and Google on the web. It gives you a lot of the databases or ledgers through the phone companies perhaps, or through banks at the bottom. But there's that missing layer of what is the IP, what is the shipping container that's going to wire them all together. And that's the part, thankfully, that's being introduced. Now, when you combine then those new apps, those new devices, those new databases with an interoperability layer, boom. I mean, that changes the world overnight. And I think we're so close to that. And that will create this Cambrian explosion of, some of the companies here that will suddenly have this global platform to be working on, which will make fintech so much easier. Everybody in fintech knows how difficult it is just within a country, let alone to try to go global. That is all about to change. And that's great for everybody.
No, we all know who this is, guys. And the thing is, they're talking about interoperability here, right? Overnight, changing the world overnight. What does that mean? That is what they're doing right now, guys. They are changing the financial system like never before. And this is your only chance to get involved. Thank you very much, guys, for watching the video. See you in the next one. Cheers.